Today we're tackling something that, well, it really touches everyone, especially if you're navigating your 20s, maybe wondering how to actually get a handle on your money. We've been digging into some really powerful stuff, specifically excerpts from Unlock Your 20s, Wealth Habits for a Free Future. And our mission today, for you, is to pull out the most impactful bits of wisdom, the key insights.
Yeah, really trying to understand how the choices you make with your money right now can, well, profoundly shape your whole future.
Exactly. And there's this core idea from the source material that just jumps right out. Pretty stark. You're either building wealth right now or you're silently falling behind.
Wow, yeah. That definitely sets the stage.
It really does. A really important conversation we need to have.
Absolutely. And this deep dive, it isn't just about, a checklist of what you should do. It's more about why it matters so much and fundamentally how you can shift your mindset.
Shifting from feeling stuck, maybe overwhelmed.
Exactly. Moving towards taking deliberate, empowered control of your financial destiny. We'll look at the common traps, expose some of those pervasive financial lies.
Oh yeah, those are important.
Reveal some hard-won truths, and then really lay out a concrete plan of action for you.
Okay, let's unpack this. The 20s as this pivotal financial decade. Our source points out that, yeah, it's often romanticized freedom, fun, figuring things out.
The classic narrative, right?
But there's this kind of brutal truth hiding underneath. What's the core emphasis there?
Well, what's fascinating is how the material really highlights the compounding effect. Every single financial decision you make in your 20s, good or bad, it doesn't just matter today. It actually compounds across your entire life.
The time is like leverage.
It's your greatest leverage. Think about the example they give. Investing, just say $100 a month starting at 22. Potentially, that could grow to over $500,000 by age 50.
Wow, just $100 a month.
Yeah, but here's the kicker. If you wait just 10 years, start at 32 instead. That same $100 a month won't even get you half of that. Not even close.
That really puts it in perspective.
That's a powerful illustration of how compound interest really, really rewards starting now.
Okay, so if compounding is the superpower, what's the kryptonite? The source talks about this really common trap that catches so many people. Can you break that down?
Yeah, it's subtle, but it's pretty insidious. It often kicks off with, getting a job that maybe barely covers the bills, that feeling of just scraping by.
The men there.
Right. Then maybe you start racking up a bit of debt, telling yourself, oh, it's just to get by, or it's necessary right now.
The justification spiral.
Exactly. And the next step is dangerous. Deferral. I'll save later. I'll invest when I make more.
Okay.
And meanwhile, you distract yourself with what the author calls these dopamine hits.
Like scrolling, streaming.
Mindless scrolling, endless streaming, impulse buys, often just to escape the weekday grind.
Right, that combo. Just getting by.
Yeah.
Plus the constant distractions. And the result of that cycle, according to the source.
Well, the author paints a pretty vivid picture. You wake up at 30, feeling totally burned out, realizing you're way behind where you thought you'd be, and suddenly everything feels incredibly urgent.
That sounds stressful.
And this is crucial, the text immediately pivots. It talks about a power move. Using your 20s like a weapon.
A weapon for your future, not against it.
Precisely. It suggests that even a small shift, like just changing 10% of your mindset and your money moves right now, that compounding effect can explode in your favor.
It's not about getting rich overnight then.
Not at all. It's about avoiding being stuck forever, maybe retiring decades earlier, dodging that awful paycheck to paycheck trap, and actually building real confidence, clarity, and control. It's genuinely transformative stuff.
This isn't just abstract theory for a lot of people. Our source actually starts with a really raw personal story. It kind of sets the stage for why this matters so much. What was that moment, that rock bottom?
Yeah, it's incredibly relatable. The author talks about being 24, having exactly $3.27 in their bank account. Rent was late, phone was off, crying in their car.
Oh, wow.
And this was after doing everything they thought they were supposed to do, college, graduated, got the job. It just shows how following the script doesn't always lead where you expect.
That's incredibly humbling. So what were those invisible traps that were draining their money, even while following the rules?
The material really digs into those sneaky things. Forgotten monthly subscriptions, the ones you sign up for and forget. Credit card payments where you're basically just paying interest, not touching the principal.
The interest trap.
Yeah. And that weekend spending, like using it as an escape hatch from the stress of the week. The author mentions faking it till you make it. but realizing they were actually breaking themselves financially. The absolute low point. Literally counting out change at a gas station just to buy a $2 hot dog.
Wow. That had to be a turning point.
It was.
Yeah.
It led to this really profound question that changed everything. What if I'm not broken, but my blueprint is?
Ooh, that's a huge shift. Not blaming yourself, but the plan.
Exactly. That was the catalyst. From then on, the author became obsessed with understanding money, turned their car into a mobile classroom, podcasts, audiobooks, used that shame as fuel.
So what did that change look like practically?
It meant stopping the chase for status symbols, starting to stack savings consistently, stopping trying to impress people who didn't matter, and crucially, starting to invest. Becoming a now person, not a someday person.
That sounds hard.
Oh, the source is very clear. This wasn't some easy Instagrammable glow up. It was a grind. It was often lonely. It was deeply uncomfortable.
But the message for the listener, for you, is really powerful, isn't it?
Incredibly, it's this idea, if you're struggling right now, you are not a failure. You are just early. This moment right now can be your pivot point. You can turn that pain from a prison into permission to rewrite your whole story.
That's a really powerful reframing. Okay, so moving from that personal story, the source then identifies these financial landmines dressed as normal advice. 5 big lies that can keep you broke in your 20s if you're not careful. What's the first one?
The first one is maybe the most seductive. You have time. You know that little voice that whispers, "You're young. Relax. Plenty of time to figure it out later."
Sounds reasonable, right?
It sounds reasonable, but the truth, the source argues, is that time is either your absolute greatest asset, especially with compounding, or it's your most expensive debt. Every dollar you don't invest in your 20s, it could genuinely cost you hundreds later on, simply because you missed out on that early growth.
That's insidious because it feels so harmless. Okay, what's lie number 2?
Lie number 2, you need a high-paying job to get rich. Seems logical, doesn't it? More income, more wealth.
Yeah, makes sense on the surface.
But it's a huge trap because of something called lifestyle creep. That tendency we all have to, spend more as we earn more. The material points out loads of people earning 6 figures are still broke. Why? Because they earn more, they just spend more.
Keeping up with the Joneses, basically.
Exactly. Rich isn't about how much you make, it's about how well you keep and grow it. The source even mentions people making, say, $40 who are building serious wealth because they understand money better than someone making $140K who just spends it all.
That's a critical distinction. So it's not the income, it's the habits. What about debt? It feels so normal these days.
And that's line number 3. Debt is normal. You hear it all the time, right? Everyone has a car payment, student loans, just part of life.
Yeah, it's almost expected.
But the author suggests those sayings often come from people who are, also broke. The source really emphasizes that debt keeps you chained. It literally makes your income someone else's asset. Your hard work is paying them, not building your future.
Oof, that's a tough pill to swallow. Okay, what about budgeting? Everyone seems to hate budgeting.
They really do. And that leads straight into lie number 4. Budgeting is restrictive. People say it's too much work or, you deserve to enjoy your money. Live a little.
The treat yourself mentality.
Right. But the brutal truth, according to the source, is that not budgeting is the fastest way to stay broke. A budget isn't a prison. It's actually permission to spend, but intentionally. The author throws out a challenge. Is 15 minutes a week of feeling maybe slightly restricted really worse than 15 years of feeling broke and stressed out?
When you put it like that, it's kind of a no-brainer. Okay, the final lie.
Lie number 5. And this one is maybe the most dangerous because it's so comforting. You'll figure it out later.
The ultimate procrastination.
Exactly. It makes you feel safe, like you've got it handled eventually.
Right.
But it's quietly burning your future away. The warning is stark. If you don't get intentional in your 20s, you could easily wake up at 35, stuck in a life you didn't really choose, chained to bills for things you might not even like anymore.
Okay, so those are the lies to watch out for. Now let's flip it. The source talks about hard-won truths, things the author learned the tough way, through overdrafts and missed rent. What's the first big truth?
The first one is really direct, maybe even a little harsh. Nobody is coming to save you.
Ouch.
Yeah. It means no magical mentor is going to appear, no miracle inheritance, no perfect job offer is just going to swoop in and fix your debt or hand you a budget. If you don't take control of your money, someone else inevitably will, and they'll likely profit from your, ignorance or inaction.
But there's a freedom in that too, isn't there?
Absolutely. It feels harsh, but it's incredibly freeing. It means you stop waiting and you start building. You take ownership.
Okay, that's a big one. What's the second brutal truth?
It's you can't out-earn poor habits. The author learned this firsthand. Even when their income went up, they just spend more. Simple math, right? A $2,000 paycheck, but $2,100 in spending still leaves you broke.
So chasing a bigger salary isn't the answer if the habits are bad.
Exactly. Habits always beat income. Until you learn to control what you have, more money often just makes you broke faster.
That's critical. Okay, truth number 3. This one's about tracking, I think.
Yes. Truth 3. If you don't track your money, you're already losing it. You might think you know where it's all going.
Oh, I have a rough idea.
Right. But until you actually write it down, track it, the author says you're probably lying to yourself. They were shocked to find where the money was vanishing. Those $7 lattes, late-night food delivery, forgotten subscriptions adding up. Being unaware is just really expensive.
Ignorance is not bliss when it comes to money. Okay, what's truth number 4? This one might sting a little. Friends.
Yeah, this one can hurt. Truth number 4, your friends might be keeping you poor. Now, this doesn't mean ditch your friends or that they're bad people.
Right, it's more about the dynamics.
Exactly. The author found they had to start saying no. No to those expensive nights out, maybe skipping that group trip, pushing back on the let's just split it evenly thing when you only had a salad.
That takes courage.
It does. And the reality is, often, many of those friends are struggling financially too. They're just better at hiding it. The source says when you start making smart money moves, yeah, some people might tease you, some might drift away, but the ones who stick around, they're your real tribe.
That's a tough but important filter. Okay, 5th and final truth about how wealth actually feels.
Right. Wealth feels boring before it feels good. Let's be honest, saving money isn't exactly thrilling. Budgeting isn't sexy. Watching investments grow slowly, it can feel like, well, watching grass grow.
Not very exciting day to day.
Not at all. But the source argues, you know what else feels like that sometimes? Freedom. Real freedom. Freedom from waking up stressed about bills. Freedom from financial panic. If you can delay that instant dopamine hit from spending, you earn a life later that most people simply can't afford. It's the long game.
Wow. Okay, so we've navigated the lies, faced the truths. That's a lot. But the source doesn't just leave you there, right? He gives a concrete plan. What's the roadmap? 4 crucial steps to take before 30.
Exactly. This is where the rubber meets the road. This isn't theory. This is the practical stuff that works, especially if you want your 30s to look radically different from your 20s.
All right, let's hear them. Step 1.
First, build your $5,000 emergency fund fast. This is job number 1. Before investing, before aggressive debt payoff, before anything else. Why? Because life will punch you. Car repairs, job loss, medical bills, something will happen.
It's inevitable.
Right. And without that cushion, you borrow, you panic, maybe you even quit your long-term plan. So the target is 5 childcare. How? Aim for maybe $100 a week, sell stuff you don't need, grab a side gig for a bit, cancel subscriptions ruthlessly. That $5K, it's not just savings, it's freedom insurance.
Freedom insurance, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, step 1, emergency fund. What's step 2?
Step 2, learn one high-income skill, even if you have a 9-to-5. You don't need 10 side hustles. You need one skill you can reliably charge, say, $1,000 or more for.
Like what kind of skills?
The source gives examples like copywriting, video editing, digital marketing, maybe coding, sales, something valuable. Get obsessed with learning it. Offer it freelance on the side. Eventually, it could potentially make more than your day job. Your job pays the bills. A skill can build wealth.
Shifting from just earning to creating value. Okay, got it. Step 3.
Step 3, automate your investments, even if it's just $25 a week. This tackles that I'll invest later lie head on. Most people who say that, they never start. The advice is super simple. Open an investment account. A Roth IRA is a great place to start because of the tax advantages, or just a regular brokerage account.
Okay, open the account.
Then set up automatic transfers, even if it's just $25 every Friday. Put it into something simple and diversified, like a broad market index fund. VOO or VTI are common examples that track the U.S. stock market. The amount isn't the point at first, it's the habit. Get that habit on autopilot, and you're literally building wealth while you sleep.
The power of consistency again, even small amounts.
Oh, okay.
Crucial step number 4.
This one's called the killer, and for good reason. Cut your lifestyle inflation hard. This is where so many people get derailed. Income goes up. Spending goes up immediately.
New job, new car.
Exactly. Promotion, bigger apartment, bonus, fancy vacation. They're still broke. Just with nicer stuff. The author's strategy was extreme, but effective. They locked their lifestyle at their college budget level even when their income tripled.
Wow, that takes discipline.
It takes serious discipline, but it freed up so much extra cash to invest, build, and just breathe. If you can consciously resist upgrading your lifestyle every time your income bumps up, you win the game. Your bank account is keeping score, not your car or your zip code.
That's a powerful set of actions. Okay, so to help make all this stick, the source offers this really interesting mindset shift. A message from your future self. Tell me about that.
Yeah, it's a cool visualization exercise. Imagine yourself at 30, looking back at you right now, listening to this. What does that future self say?
Okay, I'm listening.
That 30-year-old you says, hey, you're not lost, you're just early. You're in the setup phase right now, and that everything you do or don't do is compounding into the person I am today.
So acknowledging the impact of now.
Totally. And this future self expresses deep gratitude. Thanks you for the tiny, invisible sacrifices, the nights you stayed in instead of blowing cash to fit in, the mornings you got up early to learn that skill, the times you said no to instant fun that would have had long-term costs.
And what does that future look like? Not necessarily millionaire status, right?
Exactly. The future self says, look, at 30, we might not have yachts and Ferraris, but we're free. And that freedom means tangible things. Not having to anxiously check prices at the grocery store, not sweating the rent payment, investments are automated, there's cash saved, maybe that side hustle grew into something real.
It's about options.
Yeah.
Peace of mind.
That's it, options and peace of mind. The message also acknowledges the struggle, that there were times you almost gave up, almost bought that flashy car just to look successful, almost quit learning that skill, but you didn't. You held the line.
And the struggle wasn't failure.
No, the source puts it beautifully. The struggle isn't failure, it's the furnace. It's where you burn away who you're not, so who you are can finally show up.
Wow, that's deep.
It really is. It's this powerful reaffirmation. You're not lazy, you're not behind, you're not broken, you're just becoming. Every choice today is literally creating that 30-year-old who gets to wake up and think, wow, we did it right.
And that final kicker from the source about the people who might doubt you now?
Yeah. The people who laughed at you, they'll wish they started when you did.
Powerful stuff. You know, you've stuck with us through this entire deep dive, and that alone says something really positive about you listening right now. You're not average. You think, you feel, you clearly want more.
You absolutely do. And you've got this window right now, this moment where maybe your brain feels a bit more awake, your heart's listening. The next 5 minutes, the choice you make right after this, it could genuinely change your next 5 years.
So what does this all boil down to for you personally? We really encourage you. Reflect on just one thing you're going to change now. Not someday, not when I feel ready, like today.
Maybe it's finally canceling that subscription you don't use. Maybe it's committing 30 minutes to research that side hustle idea. Maybe it's opening that investment account, even if you only put $10 in to start.
Or maybe it's just drawing a line in the sand and saying, enough is enough. I'm doing things differently, starting now.
Exactly. And remember what the author said. Every person who made it started exactly where you are. They didn't necessarily have the money or the connections or even a crystal clear plan.
They just started.
They just decided they'd rather look back in 5 years and say, I'm so glad I started, instead of looking back with regret and saying, man, I wish I had.
You know, the ones who ultimately win this game, they aren't always the smartest or the most talented or the luckiest. They're just the ones who refuse to sit still. Be that person.
Most people will keep waiting for the perfect time, but you listening right now, you're deciding to become the 1% who didn't wait. Let's build your future, starting now.